Hi, welcome to the GenAI Mastery course. The goal of this course is to take you from a beginner GenAI user to an expert GenAI user in 7 sessions. My name is Lucky from GenDucate, and I will be your trainer in this course. Let's dive in. So the first activity is the meeting intelligence, which is probably what most people would like most from this session, because you would have been involved in several meetings where the meetings take hours and you just want the main point from the meeting and you don't want all the information that you can't use. So the keyword here is semantic compression that we've talked about before. Is reducing the size of information to retain the core meaning. There's a lot of information, but you reduce the size to retain the useful core meaning, basically. Okay, so a typical scenario, you missed a 60-minute meeting. If that happens, this would help you. Insofar as you have the transcript, you need a summary of the main things. You don't want all of that information that are not useful to you. Summarize this meeting transcript and give me the action items. If from the section 1, section 2, and section 3, if you end up seeing some of the beginner approach in what you used to do or what you already do, don't take it personally. That's why you're doing this course. It's to improve from doing that. Okay, it wouldn't capture the main nuance or disagreements, the specifics, the things that you need the most that wouldn't be captured. So the things that you need the most, it wouldn't be captured. And then the reasoning behind the decisions and all of that, a lot will be missed. But then you get a general, as usual with generative AI, generic summary, you see. And how do you do it? The expert progression. We start with a structured brief. With this one, it's a multi-part. So your prompt has to be very specific with different parts. You need to go straight to the point. You're saying, because you already work in that environment, you know the nature, you know the kind of meeting, you know what the meeting was about. You have the information, even though you were not there. You know what's needed, what's the main thing. That helps you. Or from previous meetings, you can use those. What was the main thing from those meetings? So here, we just came up with the usual decisions that were made from the meeting. In a typical meeting scenario, you have to contextualize it to your own context. And then the decisions made, and then number 2, action items and the owners who owns it. And then a question that hasn't been sort of asked. And then sentiment analysis. So here you can even have up to 10 different points that you want. Insofar as it's from your contextualized knowledge of that kind of meeting, what normally comes out of it. And then you can even go further. You see this step here, a lot of it happens in step 1 already. From what happens in step 1, you can then add different prompts. Here we just use this example of a decision log. And you can see a name is mentioned here. The reason that being, we use Marcos as an example, but then yours might be the CEO. You know that person or those people. You know the different camps. So here we're bringing in characteristics, emotions, and all of that. So they know the different camps in your team, and you know how there will probably be counter argument and how one camp is normally different in the way they say things. So you can build that into your prompt. Even though you were not there, you know what would have happened. If it didn't happen, generative AI will tell you it did not happen, or it wouldn't add it to the prompt. But you're almost 100% sure that it happened. And you already have the transcript and you've seen notes from the transcript anyways. So you can build that into the prompt. And then, having done that, you've looked at the main point of the meeting and different arguments, different contexts. Then you can do step 3, which is the follow-up. The last part is the responsible check. You're just checking the dates and the items. Having said that, let's dive into the first activity. As usual, this is the number 3, the communication and meeting intelligence file that will go with the course. And if you want to use the file like I'm using here, you have to download it to have in your system. If not, you won't be able to copy it. Okay, and we have 3 activities like we had in the last session. The first activity, we'll just crack on with that. I will just open this here So I've already added a transcript and everything down here that we're working with. I will start with how not to do it. As usual, I'll copy the prompt and then I'll add a transcript. So let me put a prompt first. And I have the transcript down here. I'm just giving generative AI the whole transcript, but then with that small prompt to summarize the meeting transcript. Again, it will do a good job, but then when you look in depth, you will see a lot of things that are missing. On the face of it, you will see how it looks. Let's start with how not to do it. Like you said, so summarize the meeting, so you get a summary. And the key point: budget overruns, regulatory documentation, engineering issues, cost versus risk, final agreement, actionable items, near term. All of this is being made up. Near term, actionable items. You didn't ask for it. So generative AI, they've created all of these themselves from what they know about meetings as usual. You see, but then the problem with this is that they probably not, some of them are not useful to you. Some of them might be useful from a typical meeting, but some of them might not be. So you wouldn't have everything. The same with the meeting summary. The points that have been identified here, you can see how they're very different. Budget overruns, regulatory documentation delay, engineering issues. If you're from a specific department, say you're from the accounts team, the first one might really matter to you. But if you're from a different team, it might not. But then it depends on who you are in the team, isn't it? So this is why you need specifics. And if we go to how it should be done, you will see the difference. It starts with decisions that has been made specifically because this is what you asked. And then action item, owner, deadline. So you capture the essence from the meeting, the action items, the owner, the deadline. And then the next outstanding questions that hasn't been asked. And then sentiment analysis, then a log. Exactly what you asked for. Here, you don't need to edit or change anything. And from that, it creates a follow-up email. And if you go in depth, you will see how accurate this email is in terms of these different areas. Because what you've done, basically, you've done a chain of thought, sort of the chain of thought that we did in the first session. That's what you've done here. But you've aligned that, you've applied that to a transcript. You didn't just apply the chain of thought to a transcript, gave some precise prompt, and the email came out of that. So you did 3 steps before you go to the email. If you do it that way, you will normally get the right information out of generative AI. A lot of these steps, when you have a similar scenario and follow, you might not appreciate how specific, how concise, how accurate this is until you are in this context. And then when you do it for your own work context, you'll be like, wow, like this that just happened here now, probably 2-3% of editing needed of everything here, and that's it. Less than 10% of editing needed, and shoot the email, then the meeting happened. But if you follow the steps, how this happened, you see the power of this. Whereas, if you look at how not to do it, first of all, what are you going to do with all of this information that's been giving you general information and mixed with specific information? What are you going to do with it? It's already suggesting to draft email, but if you draft emails from this, you have to rewrite the email, most of it, which is a problem we have in the industry now. But thank you very much for staying to the end of this session, and I'll see you in the next session. Have a good day. Thank you.